American President Nixon has said that at another time and place, you would have achieved the world stature of Winston Churchill, Gladstone, and Disraeli. However, what I remember most clearly was in 1991, you said in an interview that your place in history was a small place and that it would not even be a footnote in this world. Having contributed so much to our country over the past 50 years, I would like to know if you had to choose one thing to be remembered for, what would it be? And I would like to know as well, how would you like to be remembered in the future?
In all honesty, I can tell you that I've never thought about that. My job is to get what I'm doing done well. My motto in life is, if you have decided to do something, then do it well, or don't do it at all. So whatever I do, I try to achieve and achieve it at a high level. How will I be remembered? When you are dead, obituaries are settled by editors, and they have prepared these obituaries. They are done by people younger than you, and they collect all kinds of anecdotes and they have them in reserve. So the day you are dead, the next day you have the obituary. Otherwise, you've got no time to. That's what all you.
It's true.
But that's ephemeral. Reputations are finally decided 20, 30, 40 years after you're dead, when historians and students research your life, research your work, your documents, the things you decided on, and then there's a revision of what the man was worth. So, you take China. The great man, of course, is Mao Zedong, and his picture is still at Tiananmen. But he was a great man in liberating China. In building China, he nearly destroyed it because he was a romantic and he believed in constant revolution, to throw up a next generation as revolutionary as his own. So you know what happened in the Cultural Revolution, which of course was not only just to have leaders thrown up, but at the same time to get rid of leaders who were blocking him. The man who built China is Deng Xiaoping. And let me give you this anecdote and why he said, learn from Singapore. He came here in November of 1978. So what he saw here was an eye-opener. We were prosperous, we were green, we were clean, and every person owned his own flat. So he spent his 3 days here and asked, how do you do this? So we said CPF, employment, training, education. So he discovered that we have many foreign companies, multinationals, who use up our manpower, train them, and they generated this income and wealth, and we were able to do all this. In 1992, 14 years later, when they were blocking him, he went down to Shenzhen and said, open up, learn from the rest of the world. And most important, learn from Singapore, because it's got good management and discipline. And thereafter, hundreds of delegations came with cameras and camcorders to learn from us. So I decided, no, you don't learn by visiting a place for a few days and taking pictures of it. So I said, look, if you really want to learn from us, we start a project in Suzhou, and we'll show you how we plan, how we build, how we eventually have an integrated city. And today is an icon in China, and Singapore is known for it. But he built China. If he had not reversed course, China would have imploded just like the Soviet Union.
We live in a highly competitive world. What are the key areas that Singapore should focus on in the next 10 years? Thank you.
It's very difficult to spot your niches. As I told you just now, whatever we do now, given time, the Chinese will do and do better because they've got more talent. You just see the way they've picked up IT. When I went there in the 1980s, they knew nothing about a computer. 70s, never heard of computers. 90s, they learned it. Today, they're able to make all kinds of gadgets. So Microsoft and many of our own IT people run R&D offices in China. And to preserve their copyright, they break up the research into 3 different parts. So one in Shanghai, one in Beijing, one in Henan, whatever it is. So they don't know who the other components are being produced by, and you retain your copyright. If you let them know when they come together, in no time at all, they are in the market competing with you. We have to bear all that in mind. So where do we retain our competitive edge? In my own analysis, they will take a long time to change the system from no protection of intellectual property rights to protection of intellectual property rights. From no rule of law, because it's the rule of whoever is the official in charge, to the rule of law. So these areas, they will not be able to compete with us. So we've gone into life sciences. So we've got the pharmaceutical companies are here. They are doing research, we are doing research, we combine with them. Will they go to China? No, because if you go to China, within 6 months, you will find what you've done is on the market as a generic product. Because they are smart, they reverse the engineering, and they get the friend who's working there and says, what do they do this part? At what moment do you mix this? And they do it. They're very smart. But they are not going to get these technologies because they know, all those with that technology know that it will be lost. So they come here. But please remember, to be useful to them, we got to be very competent.